Hello and welcome to CFL Classics on ESPN Classic Canada. I'm Chris Schultz. Today we'll rewind to 1988 where the Toronto Argonauts would be taking on the RoughRiders from Saskatchewan. At this point in the season, the Argos and the Riders were each leading their respective divisions. Toronto had lost the first game of the season, but then went on to win their next 5. They'd be looking for their 6th straight win on this windy day. The RoughRiders had a couple of solid quarterbacks in their lineup, including Ken Austin and Tom Burgess. For this game, Austin would be getting the nod, and John Congemi would start for the Argos. So let's waste no time in getting you to the field. The opening kickoff is next on ESPN Classic Canada.
The teams with the best records in the CFL are on the field at Taylor Field here in Regina, and they are set to go. Dave Ridgway will kick off into a strong wind, and he loops it up short. It's caught at the 44-yard line, and there's very little opportunity to return the football for the Toronto Argonauts, who will start John Congemi at quarterback tonight. And you can see his last start was almost a year ago. He started 3 games last year in his CFL rookie season, including that one in Hamilton in September. And he'll have a very strong wind at his back in this opening quarter with a 1st and 10 at the Argo 45-yard line. That's Dwight Edwards, number 30, in motion to the right. Congemi hands off up the middle to Warren Hudson, who has a gain of 4 or 5 yards. There's a look at the breeze. And there's a feeling of fall in the air here in Regina with that temperature and the strong wind and cloudy skies. Going to drop down to near freezing in Regina this evening, so you know that football season is with us in every way. 2nd down and 5. Argos from their 50. Congemi throws to Edwards, and he can't catch it at the Saskatchewan 50. He was hit by Harry Skipper, and the ball went through his hands. John Congemi, of course, took that shot from James Curry here at Taylor Field last year, a very controversial play. Curry slamming his hand into Congemi's face mask after Congemi had thrown an interception. Congemi missed the next month of the season, and Curry was disciplined. On 3rd and 5, Olesic will kick with the wind. He hits a low driving punt, fielded at the 9-yard line by Joe Fuller, and he finds an opening and brings it back out to the 19 of the Saskatchewan RoughRiders, who will have the football for the first time in the game. And Kent Austin, for the first time this season in a starting role, will bring the RoughRiders out. That was a 52-yard punt by Olesic and an 11-yard return by Joe Fuller.
John Gregory had said he has confidence in Austin as being a starting quarterback, though it is his first start. And Gregory gave us the impression Austin possesses something that could really work for them against the Argo defense.
Austin's first play is a handoff on the left side to Tim McCray, and he gets close to 5 yards. You saw Austin's statistics, only 1 interception. Tom Burgess has thrown 8. That's a total of 9, and that's the lowest total of interceptions thrown in the CFL.
The key in today's game, I think, will be stopping the running attack. Not a bad job by Brian Illebroom getting out on the tank Landry, but still being able to scrape around and get in on the tackle.
2nd down and a long 4, close to 5. The Riders, Austin, lots of time, dumps it off to Milson Jones at the 30, and he's up to the 34. That's a Saskatchewan 1st down.
Well, having the presence of mind of looking downfield, not seeing anything open or anything that looked awfully good, dump it off to your running back.
1st and 10, RoughRiders at the 34.
Kent Austin starting at quarterback for the RoughRiders. McCray and Jones. There's the receiving corps with Hood, the man they're looking to give them some big plays. The offensive line, the 5-man unit that's been there all season long. And a very quiet offensive line, but very, very efficient. One of the good ones in the league. Austin throwing for Fairholm on 1st down. And Fairholm going to his knees makes the catch at the 44.5. And that looks like another RoughRider 1st down, and it is.
When you talk about having to stick the ball in here, you watch. Austin's looking to Fairholm all the way, but doesn't throw it immediately. Gets that 3 steps back and really drills it into rookie Jeff Fairholm, who was shut out last week against the Stampeders.
That has scored 4 touchdowns. Another quick pass complete to Elgard. This one up to the 53 of the RoughRiders. That'll be about a yard short of it. Yet another Saskatchewan first down.
Austin just simply reading the defense. Elgard coming off the ball and making the same decision that Austin is. No linebacker, break in quickly, and he's going to get the ball.
Interesting, John Gregory said that he feels Kent Austin gives the RoughRiders the best chance of winning this game against the Toronto defense as the short yardage team comes in, and Milson Jones carries on 2nd and short and makes it easily across center field into the Toronto 53-yard line. Well, the Toronto Argonaut defense is simply the best in the league. They've given up an average of 14 points a game. The front 4 with Harper playing so well that Sellers can't get back in, at least at this stage. The linebacking crew anchored by Landry in the middle, but the outside men are no slouches. And the secondary, a hard-hitting, aggressive bunch. But against that defense, the RoughRiders have moved very well in their first possession. This time, Tim McRae finds no room whatsoever and will lose 2, 3, maybe 4 yards on the play.
Well, it's pretty good work if you can come from the other side on the inside tackle spot, as Gerald Bayless does, and get to the ball when it's a sweep. Look at him. He just simply breaks through the block and just keeps going. Good pursuit upfield by Don Moen to stop McRae from starting to turn that corner. Just the swell catches up with him.
I said they lost 2, 3, or 4. Well, they lost 5. 2nd down and 15. RoughRiders at their 52. Austin has an Argo right in his face, but he gets away and then is down at the 50. There are penalty flags. Austin will lose 2 yards on the play. But somebody was offside, and it was the Toronto Argonauts, says referee Ross Perrier.
Offside, Toronto number 26.
You're going to see at the top of your screen, halfback Selwyn Drain's going to come in, but he's going to come in just a touch early before the ball snap.
And he's the man who confronted Austin as soon as he stepped back from the center. Saskatchewan will have a 2nd down over, and they will have 10 yards to go for a first down at the Toronto 53. We're already 5 minutes into the first quarter. There's no score. Austin, quick pass, tipped, intended for Elgard, but it was tipped just past the line of scrimmage. And the RoughRiders will have to kick, but Neil, they held the ball for about 3 minutes into that stiff win.
An important factor, but I think we're seeing something that John Gregory was telling us about. Watch Austin throw quickly, throwing quickly because number 26, Drain, coming in again from his halfback spot. He sees Elgard break into the middle. If the ball hadn't been knocked down, Elgard makes the catch.
Drain has 3 quarterback sacks this year, and what we just saw was one of the reasons why he flips his foot a bit. Baker gets a kick off. It may have been tipped into the wind. It doesn't go very far. Braisley with it, and he's down at the Argo 37-yard line. 9 minutes, 27 seconds left in the opening quarter at Taylor Field in Regina. There's no score.
Go ahead. Take it off. You've got nothing to hide. You can't get a body like this on an expensive diet plan, but now you can get the body you've always dreamed of with a Bowflex home gym.
One workout,
20 minutes a day,
just 3 days a week.
You build muscle, you burn fat. No diet plan can do that.
Find out how easy getting in great shape can be with this free DVD from Bowflex Home Gyms. Just call or go online. There's no obligation and nothing to buy.
You have to get this DVD. It can change your life.
Don't waste your money on expensive diet plans.
diet meals, they cost hundreds of dollars a month.
Now you can bring home a genuine Bowflex home gym for less than 50 cents a day and get guaranteed results in just 6 weeks.
Diet meals are gone. My Bowflex home gym is here to stay.
Unlike a diet, a Bowflex home gym builds muscle, and muscles incinerate calories, so you lose weight and keep it off.
Build muscle, burn fat. Nothing compares to a Bowflex.
People ask me if I'm on a diet. I tell them no. I'm on a Bowflex.
Thanks to Power Rod technology, Bowflex home gyms provide progressive resistance, the secret to burning more calories and building muscle faster than free weights or other resistance systems. Call now for a free DVD that shares the secret of getting an awesome body fast. With a Bowflex home gym, your muscles work harder as you move through a full range of motion. So your workout is more efficient with fewer reps. That's proven Power Rod technology. And with over 65 exercises, the easy hook and release design allows you to go from 5 pounds to over 400 pounds safely and quickly. Get yours for no money down and payments as low as just $10 a month.
I like shopping again. Everything looks great on me.
I'm not afraid to take my shirt off anymore.
With a Bowflex body, you've got nothing to hide.
Get the DVD.
It could change your life.
To get your free DVD, give us a call or go online to getabowflex.ca today. Call now.
Kyle!
What's up, Mom?
You went on a 29,000-mile joyride in my brand new BMW?
Mom, it's pre-owned.
But your father said it was new.
Yeah, new as in you didn't have it before.
Looks like new, performs like new, and with a protection plan for up to 6 years or 160,000 kilometers, it's hard to believe it's pre-owned.
Wait till your father hears about this.
He knows all about it.
And now, great value with financing rates starting at just 0.9%.
One of the problems kickers will have, as Terry Baker did that last punt, kicking into the wind, is when he drops the ball, has the nose, pushes back, starts to rotate, takes the ball right off the foot.
16-yard kick nailed by Terry Baker into that strong wind, 35 kilometers an hour, and both punters are going to have problems getting any distance into the wind tonight. Argos at their 38, 1st and 10. Kangemi throws, and it's intercepted, or is it incomplete? The RoughRiders have it. Magruder out of bounds. It's an interception at the 35 of the Toronto Argonauts.
Good reason to celebrate. John Kangemi anticipates when Boyd's going to come open. He's looking at him again to his right all the way and really tries to hammer that ball in, but it doesn't get there quickly enough.
Well, that was
Mike
an
Magruder.
incredible interception.
Oh, great anticipation and timing and super coverage.
One hand, he kept it from hitting the ground and was able to keep the football in the air. And the RoughRiders have a great chance to open the scoring, but Kent Austin on 1st down was stopped by Nolan Harper for a loss of 4 yards.
Nolan Harper, as you said, has got himself a position right now as a defensive end. One of his attributes is his quickness and speed, and the free agent camp, when the Argos got a look at him, he ran a 4.640.
That interception by Magruder was his 4th of the season. 2nd down and 14. There's that blitz, but Austin gets away from Pless, gets the ball off. No good, though. Down at the 27, 28-yard line of the Toronto Argonauts. Under normal circumstances, we'd see Dave Ridgway try a field goal now from the 45-yard line, but with the wind, the Saskatchewan RoughRiders will send out their punting team.
Well, we've seen the Argonaut defense be very aggressive earlier on in the game. 2 blitzes by Selwyn Drain. Aggressive play by Landry up the middle when passing situations. In that last one, Willie Pless from the outside.
And it has worked for them. The RoughRiders in their first possession moved the ball nicely, and then the Argos got that blitz going, Neil, as you said. And the Riders have really been stalled, and this punt is returned by Pernell Moore to the 14-yard line. Baker with a much better kick, 30 yards into the wind this time. And the return was 7 yards by Pernell Moore. Well, it's a great chance for John Kangemi, isn't it? Gilbert Renfro got the first 6 games of the year to show that he deserves to be number 1. He never did find the rhythm and consistency the Argos were looking for, and now the ball is in John Kangemi's court. No score halfway through the first quarter at Taylor Field. The Argos on their 15. Finnerty with the football right side, and he's to the 20, maybe the 21-yard line. Saskatchewan RoughRider defense rebounded and played well against Calgary last week after 2 very rough outings. Their front 4-man unit with Goldsmith, number 5, and he'll alternate with those 4 up front. Albright, the middle linebacker, Lowen Crane on the outside, and the secondary, we saw Mike Magruder pick off his 4th pass of the year just a few minutes ago. 2nd down and about 4.5. Argos at their 20.5. Finnerty again, and he gets close to the 1st down. Off the right side, perhaps just a bit short.
Gil Finnerty coming off 2 consecutive 100-yard rushing games and has the potential of getting a few more in a row, I think, if the Saskatchewan defense isn't playing heads up and doing a good job of canceling the gaps and not giving him that area where he slashes so effectively.
They'll measure to see if Finnerty made it. He's inches short. 3 or 4 inches short, it looks, of the first down. Now you're at your 24.5-yard line early in a scoreless game. Do you play it conservative and kick it away, or do you go for what is almost an automatic first down? Well, the Argos are going to go for it.
Well, you heard Bob Obilovich yelling to his team short yardage, getting the right people in there, or maybe it's called the bigger people.
Third down and inches. Argos. Kangemi keeps left side. He has it, no problem. 2 yards he got off the left side up to the 27. That is their first down of the game. Kangemi getting his first start. Hudson and Finnerty in the backfield with him. The receivers, and Jeff Boyd has really come on to play the way the Argos hoped he would when they got it from Winnipeg. The offensive line, Bob Obilovich says the best offensive line he has ever had in his 7 years in Toronto. And Schultz, the Toronto coaches tell us, having just a tremendous season. From the Argo 27.5, 1st and 10 Toronto. Kangemi throws, intercepted. Joe Fuller, touchdown.
Well, you think you'd have that trouble throwing the ball into the wind. Kangemi's got the wind behind him, and it seems like the ball's taking a while to get there. Joe Fuller has just picked up his 4th interception of this year, and just the ball was simply overthrown, but a little bit over Hudson's head, and Fuller happened to be in the right spot and just takes it to the corner.
Pass intended for Hudson, Neil. It almost looked as though Hudson mistimed his jump a little bit, but again, the way the wind is blowing tonight, those sorts of things are going to happen. Ridgway has the convert. Saskatchewan up 7-0.
Go ahead. Take it off. You've got nothing to hide. You can't get a body like this on an expensive diet plan, but now you can get the body you've always dreamed of with a Bowflex home gym.
One workout,
20 minutes a day.
just 3 days a week.
You build muscle, you burn fat. No diet plan can do that.
Find out how easy getting in great shape can be with this free DVD from Bowflex Home Gyms. Just call or go online. There's no obligation and nothing to buy.
You have to get this DVD. It can change your life.
Don't waste your money on expensive diet plans.
Diet meals? They cost hundreds of dollars a month.
Now you can bring home a genuine Bowflex Home Gym for less than 50 cents a day and get guaranteed results in just 6 weeks.
Diet meals are gone. My Bowflex home gym is here to stay.
Unlike a diet, a Bowflex Home Gym builds muscle, and muscles incinerate calories, so you lose weight and keep it off.
Build muscle, burn fat. Nothing compares to a Bowflex.
People ask me if I'm on a diet. I tell them no. I'm on a Bowflex.
Thanks to Power Rod technology, Bowflex Home Gyms provide progressive resistance, the secret to burning more calories and building muscle faster than free weights or other resistance systems. Call now for a free DVD that shares the secret of getting an awesome body fast. With a Bowflex Home Gym, your muscles work harder as you move through a full range of motion. So your workout is more efficient with fewer reps. That's proven Power Rod technology. And with over 65 exercises, the easy hook and release design allows you to go from 5 pounds to over 400 pounds safely and quickly. Get yours for no money down and payments as low as just $10 a month.
I like shopping again. Everything looks great on me.
I'm not afraid to take my shirt off anymore.
With a Bowflex body, you've got nothing to hide.
Get the DVD.
It could change your life.
To get your free DVD, give us a call or go online to getabowflex.ca today. Call now.
Fresh. Fresher. Freshest. Freshershist. The new fresh scents from Old Spice.
Well, Hank Olisek's punt traveled 61 yards with the wind at Taylor Field in Regina, but Richie Hall gave it to Albert Brown, and 41 yards later the Saskatchewan RoughRiders were in Toronto territory again.
And if not for Hank Olisek, And that tackle right there, that might have been very close to another 6 points.
Riders ahead 7-0 with 3:50 left in the opening quarter and a first down at the Toronto 47. Austin to McCray. Tim McCray reversing his field and getting to the Argo 45 and maybe just across for a gain of 2 to 3 yards. And we see tempers rising just a little bit.
Well, that Argonaut defense isn't accustomed to be shocked so early in a football game. They've been so consistent this year, so tough, both against the run and the pass. I think they bend a lot more than they break.
That's exactly the best way to describe the way they play defense, Neil. They give up some yards, but they don't let you score. And this time, Glenn Kolka will sack Austin back near center field.
Glenn Kolka now just starting to come into his own, according to Bob Obilovich, has had some nagging injuries. But the Bakersfield graduate comes right up the pipe. A little bit of a deal up front that springs him loose.
Kolka has just added to his sack total. That was his 5th of the year.
James Curry, after coming off the field last time, has a strained bicep. I'm sure we'll be back.
3rd and 16. Baker kicking into the wind. Hits a low one. It's grabbed by Brazeley at the 29 of the Argos, and he's back to about the 33 with 2 minutes and 50 seconds left in the first quarter. Saskatchewan leading Toronto 7-0.
So much to think about when you're kicking into the wind. You're concerned about dropping the ball low, how the wind's going to affect your punt. But once again, you see Baker starts with dropping the ball well. It's going to fit on his foot nicely, but that wind pushes the nose back, starts to rotate it counterclockwise, and makes it tough to really get a decent kick.
Well, Doug Landry is having an exceptional season for the Toronto Argonauts, as they expected and almost knew he would after he played so well for them last season, following his being grabbed from Hamilton's practice roster. We asked Obilovich today, is there one man you can't afford to lose? And that's the man he talked about. And there are others, he said. He very quickly mentioned 2 or 3 others, but he started with Doug Landry.
Well, Landry has been such an impact player for them on defense. You know, he really is the quarterback on defense, calls the plays, makes the adjustments on the go, and communicates with the front 7. And just his play alone.
Kangemi with Richie Hall, and that blitz again gets the ball away to Cummings, and he's to the 40, brought down by Skipper at the 42. Kangemi quickly getting rid of the football, and the Argos will gain close to 9 yards.
Kangemi almost having to sacrifice himself. On the left side of your screen, you're going to see halfback Richie Hall come into play very quickly again. There's no one there to block because everyone goes left, but the screen's going to that side to Cummings. Nicely set up, good pursuit, but Skipper moves up very quickly, along with Steve Crane.
Good block by Calvin Princeton, number 66, 2nd and 1. The give is to Finnerty, who slips outside to the 50 to center field. Gil Finnerty, Albright had him lined up in the backfield. He had him, but he was gone as quickly as he was there.
Well, he can make a person miss as easily as anyone I've seen, and that makes him so effective. And that making someone miss can happen in the open field, can happen in the close quarters along the offensive line, anywhere. I mean, he just has tremendous ability.
I guess that's why he's called the Thrill. Well, the Argos need some things like that to happen as they trail 7-0. A 13-yard gain by Finnerty. Kangemi throws, intercepted by Fuller. And he's brought down at the 21.
Boy, that side of the defense is having some fun. That's Fuller's 2nd of the day. Magruder on the corner already has one. Just waiting and waiting, and that's the problem. The ball doesn't get there quickly enough. Boyd doesn't have a chance to come back, and by the time he does, Joe Fuller has already made the interception.
That is the 3rd interception of the game for the Riders. The 2nd for Fuller, who took his first one in for a touchdown. Saskatchewan at the Toronto 21. McCray carries for 5 to the 16-yard line.
Hey, hey. Well, I don't know if I've seen a defense jump on an offense as quickly as I have in this quarter today. Saskatchewan almost seems like they've been reading the playbook, the way they've been jumping coverages. And it's got to shock you as a coach.
Well, Kangemi, of course, doesn't have Gilbert Renfro's arm, and the RoughRiders secondary seems to be really playing tight. Austin on second down throws, and Willie Pless was on Kent Austin virtually the moment he took the football from center. The pass is incomplete, and the RoughRiders will attempt a field goal. But that's an example of that Toronto defense, Neil, toughening up when teams get in close.
Well, they're just outnumbered right here. Pless comes through the middle, and Milson Jones doesn't get up into that area between the offensive linemen to stick him before he can get by. If you give him any way to go at all, Pless will get there.
And Gilbert Renfro, who we just talked about, is loosening up. The field goal machine, Dave Ridgway, will attempt a 23-yarder, and he'll make it, but there is a penalty flag. And it's against Saskatchewan, so Ridgway is going to have to try it again from 5 yards further back into the wind. He is 22 out of 23 on the season.
Illegal procedure, Saskatchewan number 81.
Not only is he 22 of 23, Bob, his career percentage is 74%.
Best in CFL history of kickers who have been around for any length of time, and that is just well, when you stack it up, as we've said before, to other percentages, it's just out of this world.
Maybe the best anywhere.
Ridgway from the 28 this time has the distance into the wind and splits the uprights again. No problem for Ridgway. He could fall out of bed and kick goals. And the Riders increase their lead to 10-0 as the first quarter comes to an end at Taylor Field in Regina.
Heading into this game, both coaches had to decide which quarterback would get the call. Unfortunately for Bob Obilovich and the Argonauts, John Kangemi had an absolutely brutal first quarter. 3 interceptions in the first 15 minutes put Saskatchewan up by 10 points, with the Argos never really having a chance to get back into it. It's no surprise that we saw Gilbert Renfro warming up his arm after Joe Fuller grabbed his second interception of the quarter. Let's see how he does coming into the game with a 10-0 deficit to work with. The second quarter is coming up next on ESPN Classic Canada.
As long as we both shall live.
As long as we both shall live.
May I now have the rings?
Hi, I'm Catherine. As a real estate agent, I use Febreze to prep my houses for sale. Febreze Fabric Refresher is an essential component of my toolkit. When a house smells good, it gives a very positive impression on home buyers. I also use it in my house because our couches were smelling more like dog than anything else. It removes odors of sports, teenagers, or cooking. I would not want to face a week without Febreze Fabric Refresher.
We've all been there, at least once a week, face to face with The List. The list you make yourself for everyday cleaning in the bathroom and kitchen. CLR Bath and Kitchen Cleaner is made for that list of chores. CLR BK will get the entire bathroom so clean, it squeaks. Say goodbye to soap scum and water spots in no time at all. It's the foaming action. It does the work, so you don't have to. In the kitchen, CLR BK wipes away serious messes fast. Heavy grime is no problem at all. You can use it on ceramic tile, porcelain, and stainless steel. It's safe for the environment, and CLR Bath and Kitchen Cleaner is gentle enough to use every day. It's the only cleaner I need in the bathroom or kitchen. If it's on your list, CLR BK will make fast work of any cleaning job in your bathroom or kitchen.
At Canadian Tire, Home Hardware, Superstores, Loblaws, Zellers, Rona, Safeway, Shoppers, Co-op Stores, Pro Ace, True Value, VNS, London Drugs, Home Depot.
Fresh, fresher, freshest, fresher schist. The new fresh scents from Old Spice.
When your day begins with back pain, you need long-lasting relief. Unlike creams and rubs, Thermacare uses deep penetrating heat to relax tight muscles for 8 hours while you wear it. And the relief lasts long after you take it off. Thermacare, real relief that lasts.
Wake up to a Subway restaurant's breakfast. A ham and cheese English muffin melted top drawer whey plus a cup of Seattle's best coffee. All for just $2.99. Subway. Think fresh, eat fresh.
Well, John Kangemi's night is over for now. He played the first quarter at quarterback for the Argos, his first start of the season. And a miserable quarter for Kangemi, to say the very least. 3 passes intercepted, and Gilbert Renfro takes over as the second quarter begins. The Argos going into the wind at their 35-yard line. Dave Ridgway with a 28-yard field goal to end the opening quarter. Renfro lots of time, and he was nearly intercepted, and should have been by David Albright.
David Albright, an important fixture in that defense last year, making a number of tackles. This time, watch him drop into his zone. Now react to the way the quarterback's turning and go to the football, and he does everything but catch the football. After the ball's thrown, your first reaction, if you see defensive players getting ready to go make the tackle.
Oh, what a sigh of relief Renfro breathed. Argos 2nd and 10 from their 35, and the whistle blows. Time count violation is likely going to be called against Gilbert Renfro.
Time count violation. Toronto number 14. Second down repeated.
Another thing that happens when you're not only kicking into the wind, but when you're calling plays into the wind at the line of scrimmage, your voice doesn't carry as well. So you have to sometimes call the play 2 or 3 times to make sure everyone can hear it. That could have been the problem there.
Argos from their 32nd and 15. Toronto, I believe, was offside. Renfro gets pressure and scrambles upfield to about the 36-yard line. Darrell Smith, the slot back on the left side, looked like he took about 2 steps before the ball was snapped, and procedure is the call against the Argos. Neil, what has happened to the Argos?
Illegal procedure. Toronto number 1 declined. 3rd down.
They've been a disaster on offense so far.
Well, when things go wrong, they really start to go wrong, and I think that it's one thing to throw incompletions, but when the balls that you're throwing are picked off and taken back down for very close to touchdowns, you've got to regroup your troops and start over again.
Well, they'll hope that their outstanding special teams and defense can keep them in this thing until their offense gets rolling. Alisic with an excellent kick into the wind. Richie Hall with it at the 46-yard line of the Saskatchewan RoughRiders. We're just over a minute into the second quarter. Saskatchewan leading 10-0, all 10 points in the first quarter into the wind. That was a 30-yard punt by Alisic. And now the RoughRiders will have the wind with them. James Curry has a torn bicep, we are told. Don't know how similar it is. Well, that's the injury that has put John Mandarich in Edmonton on the shelf. So Ray McDonald catching the first down pass from Kent Austin at the 54 of the Argos.
That torn bicep injury can be 2 different ways. One, if it's torn from the elbow up, and the other is if it comes from the shoulder. It's not as serious if the muscle is pulled back from the top of the shoulder, and we hope that's the case.
Well, John Gregory was talking about how fortunate his team has been in the injury department this year. He said we have been virtually injury-free. James Curry in some difficulty. First down Riders. Austin to Elgard, and he's to the Argo 34-yard line.
Almost looked like a bull in a china shop there after he catches the ball. A couple people coming in, get a chance to stick him. Again, a quick read by Austin. 3 steps, bingo, the ball's in there. There's plenty of room. Now watch this. Just the raging bull.
Saskatchewan from the Argo 35, 1st and 10. Big blitz. Austin puts it up deep for McDonald, but he doesn't turn around and see the football. Obviously unaware that Austin had aired it out with Argos all over him.
Well, that's the right read. Austin makes exactly the proper read and throws the ball in the right area. He has to. And just about the right time, I'd say. If McDonald had turned around just a hair earlier, that's a touchdown. And Austin knows it.
Yeah, it was right on target, but Ray McDonald never did get a look at it. 2nd and 10, Riders, Argo 35. Austin complete down to the 12-yard line to Elgard. And the Rough Riders, enjoying a 10-0 lead, are in range to add to it.
Trying to get extra pressure. You're going to see these three right here. Watch the movement. Harding goes down. Bayless comes to the outside. Doesn't confuse that solid offensive line of the Riders. Still plenty of time for Austin to throw the football.
22-yard gain by Ray Elgard, who was shaken up on the play. Elgard has now caught 19 passes on the season, 269 in his Rough Rider career. He's 5th on their all-time list for pass receptions. Joey Walters, the next man ahead of him, with 290. And Chris DeFrance, the all-time leader, with 328. And there are the 5 men who man the offensive line: Moore, Aldag, Anderson, Illebrun, and Vic Stevenson. And they are just a very, very solid group. From the 12, 1st and 10. Austin scrambling. And he's hit hard as he gets to the 6-yard line.
Well, the offensive line not only is giving him protection, but when they start to feel the pressure, they are still able to push the defensive player by the center. Look at this. Anderson, good job. Bayless, it looks like Bayless in the middle there had him beat. Anderson pushes him by the quarterback.
From the 6-yard line, the Saskatchewan Roughriders are 2nd down and 4 yards to go. Austin in the end zone. Touchdown, McDonald.
Simply one-on-one to the corner. Braisley's having to cover McDonald. Austin again throws it behind the receiver, as we've seen many times in coverage situations in the end zone. Let the receiver respond and react to where the ball's thrown. Once again,
Braisley complaining, I think, about a push by McDonald, but the touchdown stands, and the Saskatchewan Roughriders have jumped to a 17-point lead.
There are millions of mortgages in Canada. If you have one, you have a Manulife One number. Take Mike, for example. Mike and his wife Sarah have a mortgage, line of credit, car loan, and several savings and checking accounts. Simply by combining all their inefficient accounts into the revolutionary Manulife One, Mike calculated they could save $46,980 in interest and own their home years sooner. Discover your Manulife One number today at manulifeone.ca.
Great service and advice you can trust. Stop in today. You never know when road conditions will change. Be ready for anything with Toyo Tire's all-season Eclipse. Reliable traction and precise handling deliver a comfortable ride. Toyo Tires, driven to perform. Available at OK Tire, honestly driven.
Centrum, the A of activity, the I of immune system. Centrum Fort and Select have more vitamins and minerals and help maintain your good health. The Z of Zest for life, complete from A to Zinc.
When your day begins with back pain, you need long-lasting relief. Unlike creams and rubs, Thermacare uses deep penetrating heat to relax tight muscles for 8 hours while you wear it. And the relief lasts long after you take it off. Thermacare, real relief that lasts.
Have you tried Sync?
Sync is an in-car entertainment,
information,
bring everything together system from Ford and Microsoft.
Sync works with my phone,
my MP3 player,
my music.
It's voice activated.
It's hands-free.
It even reads my text messages to me.
It's magic.
Magic.
Sync is available in almost every Ford vehicle.
And guess what?
No fees.
No subscriptions.
It works with my stuff.
It's so simple.
I'm so connected.
If you haven't seen this lineup, you haven't seen Ford.
People notice yellow stains, so try new Speed Stick Stain Guard with stain defense technology that helps protect you and your shirts. New Speed Stick Stain Guard, smarter than sweat.
Presenting this year's Golden Realtor Award, Lead Masters.
Saskatchewan offense is not in a good spot to start a drive from their 10. Milson Jones carries for a gain of 3, 1:15 left in the first half.
Well, I think we're seeing some settling down, not only you mentioned by the offense, but on the defense too. They make adjustments as well on the sidelines, as we've seen many times. See Landry take on a block, pretty good block, and I think his linebacker partner Willie Pless gives him a bump, and they both get in the action.
Mike Anderson grabbing at Landry just a little there to help with that block. Austin on second down. There was early movement. He completes it to Ray McDonald. Nice play for the Riders. Don't know if it'll stand up to the 28-yard line because somebody moved too soon.
Well, we saw some movement both from the defense, but I think that the right side of the offensive line had some premature movement also.
And the officials chasing the players out of there as they discuss it. Ray McDonald's actions would indicate that he feels the penalties against Saskatchewan.
Illegal procedure, Saskatchewan number 86. Offside, Toronto number 38. Second down repeated.
So they settle on penalties against both teams, and they'll repeat the down. 53 seconds now until halftime. Bob Obilovich has never lost in Taylor Field as head coach of the Argos. 5 wins and 1 tie. 2nd and 7. Riders from their 13. Kent Austin. And he throws that one away clearly after his receivers had collided and hit the turf. And now we have a flag back along the lines as there's some combat going on. Gregory wants his players to get out of there.
Well, the emotion of the moment takes over right there, as you see the offense and defensive linemen clashing a little bit, pointing a few fingers and saying, I'll get back at you. But John Gregory makes a very good point. There's no sense in losing your cool now, especially when you're up and in control.
And especially when the penalty was against the Toronto Argonauts.
Aldad comes in and gets, that's a quadruple team right there. And then Kulka a little shove from behind and says, yeah, but I'll push you from behind, but I'll do more.
Well, it's difficult to pinpoint what exactly was the specific call there. Bayless really he looked like he was in a meat grinder as Riders were banging him from all sides. But the penalty went against Toronto, and the Riders have a first down at their 28. Austin throws complete to Tim McRae, who made a better than average catch, you'd have to say, as he got drilled when the football got there.
Well, they're still doing a pretty good job of yapping each other in the pits. But a good catch by McRae, making the right movement and setting himself in the right position to catch the football.
And the man who got the penalty, Neil, was Kulka, who got involved after Bayless had been going at it with some of the Riders. Second down and 2 or 3. Austin in the pocket, gets away. Throws no good, intended for Hood up at the 45-yard line. 21 seconds left now until halftime. Saskatchewan leading 17-0.
It's 3rd and 3.
Well, that ability to hold onto the football that Austin has shown in that offense right here, as we're going to see him get flushed. Some of that aggression is being taken out by the defensive lineman. Bayless gets a shot at Austin, but a good job of escaping. May very well, moving the football, have kept Toronto off the board before the half because they've been able to eat up some time, and that penalty also helped too.
That's right. 3rd down for the Riders from their 35. Baker will kick with the wind. Doesn't hit this one very well. And it's bobbled by Moore at his 40-yard line. He is able to maintain control of it with 12 seconds remaining until halftime. A 37-yard kick by Terry Baker.
Well, that's not an easy thing to do when the ball's been kicked and you're expecting a deeper kick. You want to get up. Coaches tell you, don't let the ball bounce because you never know what's going to happen to it. Catch it on the run.
Gilbert Renfro took over from John Kangemi after the first quarter. Kangemi started. Completed 1 out of 6. And Renfro 4 out of 10. That's 5 out of 16. And they've had 4 passes intercepted. Renfro to Gil Finnerty. And he gets to the 52 of Toronto. Gain of about 8 yards. closer to 10, I'm sorry, with 5 seconds left in the first half. Would you believe a 12-yard gain? And it's a first down for the Argos, but they only have 5 seconds left until halftime.
Well, as most people realize, especially the defensive players that have played against Fennerty, you get the ball in his hands, no matter where you are in the field, anything big can happen at any time. And that's, I think, what the Argos were hoping for in that particular screen.
These two teams are the two highest scoring teams in the CFL entering this game. Saskatchewan with a 30-point per game average, and the Argos averaging 28. Well, the Argos have yet to score. And Saskatchewan has put up 17, although their defense has been responsible, directly or indirectly, for 10 of those. You see Obelovich's sparkling record against the Riders, and as I said, unbeaten at Taylor Field in 6 games. Last play of the half, barring penalty, and there is a penalty flag as Renfro throws it deep, and there's 15 guys around the ball. Well, maybe only 11 or 12. None of them could get it. Procedure is the penalty against Toronto. The RoughRiders will decline.
Toronto, no end, declined.
Well, a big crowd at Taylor Field, loving what they have seen so far. 30 minutes complete. The RoughRiders in front of the Toronto Argonauts by 17-0.
The story of the second quarter seemed to be turnovers. Renfro and Austin were each picked off once, and Carl Brazeley recovered a Saskatchewan fumble. What's interesting about those stats, though, is that the fact is none of those turnovers resulted in a scoring play of any kind. In fact, the only score came off a nice drive led by Austin, capped off by a touchdown pass to Ray McDonald in the end zone. That meant that the Argos would have a huge mountain to climb in the second half of the game. They were down by 17 points and hadn't managed a single point of their own. Let's see if the Riders can build on their lead or if the Argos will manage to gain some ground. The third quarter is coming up next on ESPN Classic Canada.
Now, there's 2 ways of hanging Christmas lights. There's the traditional way with the hooks, or there's Carl's way. I prefer to use a staple gun. All you got to do is just put a couple quick staples in there.
Introducing the new Pringles Super Stack can. Now there's more fun in every can of Pringles. That's because there's 100 chips in every can. That's more Pringles than ever before. More Pringles, more fun. Everything pops with the new Pringles Super Stack can.
Fresh, fresher, freshest, fresher-shist. The new fresh scents from Old Spice.
Keep the good times going, starring Bud Light.
Hey, Bud Light. Great party. But that two-headed angry alien is really freaking people out.
Probably on a quest to discover the meaning of the universe. I'll talk to him.
Hey, where'd the alien go? The Johnson sisters.
Nice. Looks like there's intelligent life out there after all.
The easy drinking taste of Bud Light.
Keep the good times going.
It's the perfect name. Escape.
Let's go.
Anywhere.
The Ford Escape.
8-inch ground clearance.
Intelligent four-wheel drive.
Infotainment.
Every safety feature available in the Escape.
Standard.
It's fun to drive.
Comes in a V6,
4-cylinder, or hybrid.
It's the most fuel-efficient SUV on the planet.
My buddy.
I drive one.
I drive one.
I drive one.
The new 2010 Escape. This is Ford today. Drive one.
The second half ready to unfold at Taylor Field in Regina in front of a crowd of 24,662.
I think right now Bob Obelovich wants to get the ball downfield deep, have his defense come up big, either with a turnover or stop them and make Saskatchewan punt. And on the other side of the field, John Gregory would like to see some possession from his offense right now. Let's eat up the clock and maybe come away with some points.
And for the last 10 minutes of the second quarter, Neil, the Riders really didn't get much going on offense at all. Whereas Toronto seemed to be finding the groove just a little bit. on offense. So we'll see if that trend continues. Tom Burgess will start the second half at quarterback for Saskatchewan. The RoughRiders, the wind behind them. I don't know if it's quite as strong as at game time, and it was 35 kilometers an hour, but the flags are still blowing pretty good at Taylor Field. And Tom Burgess replaces Kent Austin, even though Saskatchewan has a 17-0 lead. And Burgess is intercepted by Landry, who gets back to the Rider 36-yard line. So that play has really opened John Gregory up for some second guessing.
Well, this number 16 in the green is starting off the same way number 16 in the blue did. Kunjemi, when he had the ball going in the same direction in the first quarter. Lots of time, super protection. All he was trying to do is anticipate where the receiver was going to be. Landry just simply took that spot away from him, picked the ball off. Not a great way to start.
Renfro to Gil Finnerty, and he's to the Saskatchewan 25. Very close to a first down. The Riders were ahead 17-0, and I know their offense had struggled in the, as I said, the last 10 minutes of the second quarter, but a quarterback change when you're up by 17, that's a little unusual.
Surprises me a little bit, but I think we have to keep in mind that the Argonauts are down and have been, I guess, dominated in the first half for the most part, but it is only 17 points, and 17 points can come back very quickly in this game.
I guess the other thing to keep in mind, based on what Gregory told us, is that he really had to wrestle with the decision over who to start in this game tonight. He doesn't want to lose Tom Burgess or give him the impression that he's given up on him. And I think what he's trying to do, I'm reading his mind, is to convey to Burgess, hey, we still have a lot of faith in you. We're not moving on offense, or haven't been the last few series. You go in and give it a shot. The measurement showed that Toronto has a first down at the Saskatchewan 25. Renfro throws to Smith. It's complete down to the 17 or 18. Gain of 7 or 8 for the Toronto Argonauts.
Toronto tried to complete that pattern a couple times in the first half, were successful in the latter part of the second quarter. But I think what we're going to see right here is Smith slow down as he's going through the area. Instead of trying to blast through there, he gears it down a little bit. He sees Eddie Lowe. He knows where Richie Hall is, and he finds that little soft area, and then Renfro throws him the ball.
Second down and 3, Argos at their 18-yard line. Renfro to Finnerty. And did he get the first down? The ball comes loose, but the play had been whistled dead. Finnerty fighting to get to the 15-yard line. I don't think he quite got there, but likely close enough for the Argos to gamble on third down.
Well, talking with Bob Obilovich before the game, he feels that Finnerty is getting close and maybe ready for a 200-yard game. He has that ability as a ball carrier. Just doesn't get the ball enough, but as Bob Obilovich also says, we only play with one football, and not everyone can have it all the time.
Now, we talked about the big game, the huge game. Could Finnerty, or do you wait for Finnerty to just bust loose and run for a couple hundred yards? And he said, yeah, I do, and I think it is going to happen sometime. 3rd and a yard, Argos. Renfro keeps left side, and he's across the 15 to the Saskatchewan 14. So the Argos are threatening to get on the board early in this third quarter.
Well, simply send the motion one way, and Gilbert Renfro gets a chance to pick one guy who wants to follow, and at that particular time it was big number 67, Chris Schultz, and he got more than he needed.
After saying everything I said a couple of minutes ago, trying to rationalize that change of quarterback, I have to just conclude by saying I'm surprised at the change. Kent Austin is not injured. Burgess starting the second half after Austin played the first, and Saskatchewan leads 17-0. Renfro chased out of bounds on first down, but he got back at least close to the line of scrimmage.
James Curry, who has that torn bicep, is gone for the evening. So they'll just be going with the 4: Vince Goldsmith, Rick Clausen, Gary Lewis, and Bob Jurison.
I don't know, for a guy who wants to be the commissioner, you'd think James Curry wouldn't mind being in the eye of the camera. Second down and 10. Argos at the Saskatchewan 15. Renfro hangs in there and has a touchdown to Dwight Edwards. Looked like the pocket was collapsing around Renfro, Neil, but he hung in there and was able to find an open man.
Maintains and holds his cool. He really has to wait for Edwards to come free. You'll see him come in your picture on the right side. Here he comes. Throw the ball to the area. It's close. He had to string it in there. Dwight Edwards playing probably the best football of his career this year. And Renfro shows you that kind of strength he has when he throws the football.
Good job by Renfro. The Argos have scored. Chomik with the convert. It's now 17-7 Saskatchewan.
52-yard line.
Powering that fan is one little battery. And if you think all batteries are the same, consider this. At Iowa Lakes Community College, the students learn to keep Canadian wind turbines going. And to keep them safe, the only battery they trust in their high voltage meters are Duracell rechargeables. So whether you're responsible for tomorrow or enjoying today, it just has to work. Duracell Smart Power. Duracell, trusted everywhere.
You have the right to be the envy of an entire nation. You have the right to more than 1,190 kilometers per tank. You have the right to Autobahn-ready performance. You have the right to European-tuned wow. You have the right to affordable German engineering. Every Volkswagen model is now available at just 0% APR up to 36 months during our Autobahn for All sales event.
People notice yellow stains. So try new Speed Stick Stain Guard, the breakthrough antiperspirant with stain defense technology that helps protect you and your shirts. Fight yellow stains with new Speed Stick Stain Guard, smarter than sweat.
From decorating to renovating,
homeowners help you more.
We're 100% Canadian owned.
We have plans for all kinds of projects,
big or small.
We help you save during the home renovation sale.
Right now, when you buy $1,000 or more of energy-saving Gel-Blend windows, you get a $100 home gift card to help with any home improvement project.
We have all the building materials you need
during the home renovation sale.
Homeowners, helping homeowners.
Only at Home Hardware Building Center.
John Kangemi standing behind 34-year-old Dwight Edwards, who has just scored a touchdown for the Toronto Argonauts, his first touchdown of the year on a 15-yard pass from Gilbert Renfro, the Argos' first score of the game. They are now just 10 points behind John Gregory's Saskatchewan RoughRiders.
The fear of letting the Argonauts back in the game is beginning to materialize. You really have to question why Kent Austin wasn't behind Mike Anderson, and it was Tom Burgess.
Burgess starting the second half at quarterback for Saskatchewan had his first pass intercepted by Landry, setting up that touchdown. Here's Tim McRae breaking through a good opening, and Hank Alisic saved McRae, or saved the Argos from being burned by McRae even further. That's the second time tonight, Neil, that Alisic has made a good tackle on a kick return to stop a big Rough Rider possibility.
And we see why Gregory wants to keep McRae in that lineup, even though he has a number of very talented Canadians. McRae adds that dimension on the special teams for him.
We'll see if Tom Burgess was unsettled by that interception. He'll start from his 49. Riders have the wind. He dumps it off to Elgard, and he is grabbed right there by Don Moen. We talk about Landry, we talk about Pless. Everybody forgets about Don Moen. He's just there, game in and game out. Has never missed a game in his career. And again, one of the players, Neil, that Obilovich said is playing the best football of his career.
Well, he's very talented, and maybe it just takes the people around him to play to their ultimate, to bring the best out in him. He really is the veteran in that linebacking core.
Riders second down and 14 at their 45. Burgess chased out of the pocket, gets it away, complete at the Argo 50, or in the neighborhood of the 50, to Ray McDonald. They're going to mark it at the 51.5 of Toronto. That'll be close to a yard short of a Saskatchewan first down.
Well, one thing Tom Burgess does so well is when he gets out of the pocket, he's very effective throwing the football on the run. And when you've got receivers that'll come back and help you as a quarterback, as McDonald did right there. It makes your job so much easier just to be able to skirt away from a defensive back and give your quarterback a place to throw the ball.
Third down for the RoughRiders. And about a yard to go. Burgess keeping behind center Mike Anderson, and he has the first down to the Toronto 50-yard line. Larry Kuharich, the head coach of the Calgary Stampeders, joining us now. The Stamps, of course, have suffered back-to-back heartbreaking losses. Larry, I know you're not the kind of guy who wastes time thinking about what might have been, but assess your team's situation now at 2-5.
Well, we've had two games, as you know, that we didn't play 60 minutes and we lost going down to the wire, and naturally that's disappointing, but we're not discouraged. In the last 4 weeks, we've played good football. However, we didn't win all the games like we felt we could or we were an opportunity to do.
Do you worry in this situation, Larry, about the team getting disappointed and getting down?
No, I don't worry about that. My observation is that they're eager, and to the victor goes the spoils, and all we have is the resolve that we can go out there the next week and tee it up again, and that's what we're going to do.
Larry, I was very impressed with the Stampeder defense the other night. The offense had its problems, but the defense, time after time, big plays by Stu Laird and many others, just showed what their potential really is.
Defense have played extremely well in the last 4 weeks, like I mentioned. And yes, the offense had some problems. The penalties hurt us. We had touchdowns called back, missed field goals that could have won the game for us. Those errors have to be corrected and will be. But the defense down the last 4 week stretch, I believe we've only given up 4 touchdowns, and they've really turned it around from the beginning of the season.
Larry Kuharich, stay with us for a minute. We're going to talk about what just happened here at Taylor Field. A turnover by the Argos again, or at least they forced a turnover. Laurent Delorier in Toronto with another excellent scoring chance, Neil.
Pavel Bilovic says Delorier really adds another dimension, not only as a crusher, as a hitter in the safety spot, but with some leadership. When he was with the Eskimos, an outstanding safety, and has rebounded from knee surgery and really might be the difference in that defense from last year to this year.
And the pass by Renfro is a touchdown to Kevin Cummings, and with the convert by Chomik, it will become a 17-14 game. Saskatchewan in front. Larry Kuharich, one final thought from you. Your team has to go into Toronto next Wednesday. We'll be there with the Canadian Football Network to televise it. That's going to be a very interesting night.
It sure will be interesting, and looks like Toronto might continue their winning streak. But our job is to take care of ourselves. Like I said, we've played 4 good football games. We split. We don't like that, and we're looking to rebound, and we have all the confidence in the world that we're going to rebound. The players are disappointed, but more important, they're not discouraged, and we're going to be there.
Larry Kuharich, thank you for joining us. Lance Chomik with the convert, and with 7 minutes and 58 seconds remaining in the third quarter at suddenly a very, very quiet Taylor Field. It is now Saskatchewan 17 and Toronto 14, and the exasperation shown by head coach John Gregory of the RoughRiders, easily understandable.
Well, the two different reactions, Bob Jurison coming back after the ball was thrown, and the offensive linemen of the Argonauts celebrating with their arms in the air, and that's how quickly it can happen when you have a team that has the potential and the explosiveness with guys like Edwards and Boyd, Cummings, Finnerty, Smith. You just can't relax, and I think that's the one thing I'm sure Gregory cautioned his team. Let's not let these guys up. We've got them down. Let's stay on them, because if we do let them up, we could be in trouble.
Well, Renfro's numbers have really improved since the latter stages of the second quarter. We watched Ellis Rainsberger, assistant coach of the Argos, talking with Renfro and the Toronto offensive unit. McCray is grabbed by Brazeley at the 32 on that kickoff. And if you don't think the tide has shifted completely in favor of the Argos at this stage, well, that play should have been indication of it. The applause you hear is for the return of this man, Kent Austin, at quarterback.
I can almost see him telling them, okay, fellas, it's time to settle down. Let's get back on the track we were in this position in the first quarter, control the football, and get some points back.
1st and 10, Riders at their 33. Kent Austin played the entire first half. Relieved by Burgess, he hits McCray for a gain up to the 38 or 39-yard line. That's about a 5-yard advancement for McCray on the receiving end of the throw by Kent Austin. Kevin Cummings has scored a touchdown for the Toronto Argonauts.
I think you have to give the Argonaut credit, or defensive coaches some credit, and the defense obviously, for taking away those hot patterns to the inside receivers, forcing Austin to throw the ball wide.
Austin on 2nd and 5 is going to run with it, and he'll get a first down across the 45 to the Saskatchewan 46.
Bob Obilovich said there really wasn't much difference in preparing for either Austin or Tom Burgess. He says we don't prepare for quarterbacks, we prepare for the offense.
First and 10 RoughRiders at the 40.
Well, that look that we saw in John Gregory's face just a moment ago, I suspect Gregory was probably asking himself why he put Burgess in the game. Penalty flag as Austin throws no good to McDonald at center field. McDonald hit by Carl Braisley. Just as the ball arrived, McDonald thinks he should have had it.
There go find Nolan Harper, the defensive end of this side of the field. Jumped a little bit too quickly on the movement of the running back.
Offside, Toronto number 38.
You're right, Neil.
One of the problems when a defensive end has to spread out when he sees the running back come to the line of scrimmage is not to move on the running back, but try to continue to look back and move when the ball snaps. It's tough to do, though, when you spread out.
1st and 5. Riders at their 51. McCray with a delayed handoff. A handoff that goes nowhere. Rodney Harding leading the Argos and stopping that play.
Along with Gerald Bayless.
Well, you don't want to take those numbers to the bank. They're all completed, but not all 4 were completed in the right hands.
Well, he had the kind of luck that John Conjemi had in the first quarter. Conjemi had 3 picked off. Here's a pass complete to McCray down to the Toronto 45-yard line, a gain of 15 for the RoughRiders.
Well, it's time to warm up those hands. And Saskatchewan offense, once again, you're going to see the linebackers up tight. Landry to the right. That means the middle's wide open, except for Delorier, who's deep, and now takes McCray out of the backfield, leaves that area open for the pass to be completed.
5:20 left in the third quarter. Austin has the Riders moving again and throws an odd-looking pass. He was a little off balance, maybe just hit as he released it, and I'm not quite sure how to describe that pass.
Like a bad punt.
Yeah. Suffice to say it fell incomplete and not into the arms of a waiting Argo. That is the best news for Kent Austin. He'll get another chance, a 2nd and 10 from the Argo 45. 17-14 Saskatchewan. They led 17-0 at halftime. And Austin gets away from the rush, gets the ball away. It'll be a short gain, but it's better than what it appeared the Riders would have, which looked like a sizable loss.
Austin's really showed me tonight that he has the versatility physically to be able to get away from a rush, and this rush comes on you or on him about as quickly as it possibly can by Landry. He'll be shaking his head knowing he had a sack and letting him get away and completing the pass.
Dave Ridgway with the wind behind him will try a 50-yard field goal. Suter the holder. Ridgway has the distance and the accuracy. Again, this guy never misses, and the game is now 6 points in Saskatchewan's advantage.
Go ahead. Take it off. You've got nothing to hide. You can't get a body like this on an expensive diet plan, but now you can get the body you've always dreamed of with a Bowflex home gym.
One workout.
20 minutes a day.
Just 3 days a week.
You build muscle, you burn fat. No diet plan can do that.
Find out how easy getting in great shape can be with this free DVD from Bowflex Home Gyms. Just call or go online. There's no obligation and nothing to buy.
You have to get this DVD. It can change your life.
Don't waste your money on expensive diet plans.
Diet meals? They cost hundreds of dollars a month.
Now you can bring home a genuine Bowflex home gym for less than 50 cents a day and get guaranteed results in just 6 weeks.
Diet meals are gone. My Bowflex home gym is here to stay.
Unlike a diet, a Bowflex home gym builds muscle, and muscles incinerate calories, so you lose weight and keep it off.
Build muscle, burn fat. Nothing compares to a Bowflex.
People ask me if I'm on a diet. I tell them no. I'm on a Bowflex.
Thanks to Power Rod technology, Bowflex home gyms provide progressive resistance, the secret to burning more calories and building muscle faster than free weights or other resistance systems. Call now for a free DVD that shares the secret of getting an awesome body fast. With a Bowflex home gym, your muscles work harder as you move through a full range of motion. So your workout is more efficient with fewer reps. That's proven Power Rod technology. And with over 65 exercises, the easy hook and release design allows you to go from 5 pounds to over 400 pounds safely and quickly. Get yours for no money down and payments as low as just $10 a month.
I like shopping again. Everything looks great on me.
I'm not afraid to take my shirt off anymore.
With a Bowflex body, you've got nothing to hide.
Get the DVD.
It could change your life.
To get your free DVD, give us a call or go online to getabowflex.ca today. Call now.
Back in. Neil, you bumped into Dave Ridgway yesterday. Supposedly has had a back problem. What did he tell you?
Well, he said the first thing he said to me without even saying hello is, my back's fine. There's nothing to worry about. Everything's okay. I just iced it as he came out of the dressing room.
Well, it looked fine on that 50-yard field goal he just kicked that puts Saskatchewan in front 20-14. Renfro with a screen to Pernell Moore. And Gary Lewis runs him down after a gain of 5 yards. Ridgway is now 2 for 2 on the night in the field goal department and 24 for 25 on the season as Gilbert Renfro was shaken up on that play.
See him moving that right ankle around. He was under extreme pressure. I think he had to wait just a hair too long. Bob Jurison coming in from the backside. He gets inside the block. Almost got like that ankle got folded over.
Looked like his right ankle, as you say, got tucked under there, and as Jurison whipped him around, it pulled a little bit. John Kangemi will warm up as Renfro will, I'm sure, be advised to stay on the turf just for maybe a minute longer while Kangemi loosens up.
Well, when the temperature drops as it has today, it doesn't take long for that shoulder to cool down, and the one thing you have to guard against is the obvious injury would be to, straining the shoulder, starting to throw the ball too hard too soon.
It was 16 Celsius at game time, Neil. You talk about the temperature dropping, but it feels quite a bit cooler now. It's going to go down near the freezing mark tonight in Regina.
Ticket number 6288. 6288.
4:05 left in the third quarter as they continue to attend to Gilbert Renfro. It was 17-0 at halftime for Saskatchewan. And Rider head coach John Gregory elected to put Tom Burgess in at quarterback in place of Kent Austin. And after a Landry interception, Dwight Edwards caught a touchdown pass from Gilbert Renfro to make it 17-7. And then Kevin Cummings, after Delorier had intercepted Burgess, was on the receiving end of a 29-yard pass. And Dave Ridgway getting the Riders back in a little more comfortable position with a 50-yard field goal. And it's a 6-point Saskatchewan lead. That's 12 degrees Celsius, 54 Fahrenheit, and on its way down. John Kangemi will look at a 2nd down and 4.5 as he comes into the game, and he gives it to Gil Finnerty, which isn't a bad thing to do when you've just been forced into the game from the bench.
Well, Bob Obilowicz felt he could have some success running the football. I think you're seeing a good job. Clausen there being blocked, but throwing his body into the hole where he sees Finnerty starting to run through. Whatever he had seen in the films, I think Saskatchewan's done a good job of closing down.
Well, the Argos are faced with 3rd and a good yard. I would say it's closer to 1.5 yards at their 43.5-yard line. 3:20 left in the third quarter, and the Argos will gamble. Finnerty left side. He's across the 45, and that should be good enough to give Toronto a 1st down.
Renfro on the sidelines, getting that right ankle retaped over the sock.
Surprised that they gambled on 3rd and more than 1 yard. I was a little bit.
Not really.
Oh, okay. Well, they made it. and retain possession now at their 46. John Kangemi getting a chance to redeem himself for that horrific opening quarter in which he was picked off 3 times and completed only 1 pass and was subsequently pulled in favor of Gilbert Renfro, and his pass to Gil Finnerty picked up 6 yards.
Gain of 6 on the play for Finnerty, 2nd and 4 at the Toronto 52.
The clock running, and it's down to 2:05 left in the third quarter. 20 to 14 for Saskatchewan. Finnerty on a toss to the right did get around the corner and just got across center field. Looks like he gave the Argonauts another first down, or he's within a foot of it.
Almost looks like the way he was holding that right hand that it could have taken a pop with the helmet. You're going to see what it looks like it's closed off. He just steps in and then bounces it back outside, and that hit right there by Richie Hall on that right hand is what caused Finnerty a little bit of pain.
Richie Hall's been putting some pain on people all night long.
Well, you talk about the addition of Rick Clausen to this football team. I think Richie Hall's abilities on special teams as a returner, both in punt and kickoff, and just the experience he brings in the secondary also helps this team a great deal.
The Argonauts face another third down situation. This one a lot shorter than the last one when they had 1.5 yards and made it. They have maybe the length of a football to go here. Kangemi off the left side, and he gets plenty. And the Argos again will keep the drive going. They're down 20 to 14, 1:35 to go in the third quarter.
Sure, Kangemi feeling a little bit better about himself right now as you see an outstanding surge on the left side. Once again, Dan Ferroni, Ian Beckstead at center, and the big fellow from University of Arizona, Chris Schultz.
Argos have had 7 first downs in the third quarter. As Kangemi drops back to pass and throws no good.
Well, the pressure came right up the middle, and I think Kangemi exposed himself a bit when he started to throw the football and really got rocked. Bob Jurison has just, he may line up at the end, but that doesn't mean he's going to come there all the time. See him come down in behind the other defensive tackle? It's just almost like an angle, and they happen to be stepping to the right side, and Bob Jurison, who turns 24 years old today.
2nd down and 10. Argos at the RoughRiders 52. Kangemi gets it off to Hudson, and he has some room in the middle. He's to the 30, the 25, and all the way down to the Saskatchewan 24-yard line.
Pretty well executed screen to the fullback, Hudson. This looked like somebody took the parking brake off a vehicle when he started rolling downhill here. Steps inside, everything's going left, screens back to the middle. Albright has a shot at him, and now it's just out of control going downfield. Big yardage.
Big yardage to the Rider, 24. 1st and 10 Argos. Gil Finnerty, and he won't get to the outside. Bobby Jurison upends him. Eddie Lowe was right there.
Well, when you figure he just turns 24 years old today, he's got himself a great start of potentially a super career. You see the difference from him last year and this year. Most people thought, well, just a hard pass rusher from the outside, but he's maturing into an all-around player, being able to play the run superbly and the pass.
3rd year in the league, Neil. He's 24, as you said. He was an all-Canadian last year. Good bet to be one again this year. This will be the last play of the third quarter, barring a penalty. Kangemi on 2nd down for Jeff Boyd at the goal line, and he can't go down and get it, and was shaken up on the play as he got caught between 2 Saskatchewan RoughRiders.
Sometimes in football you have to take some gambles. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. We saw in the third quarter of this game an example of a bizarre gamble that just didn't work. Ken Austin had been playing fairly well, but to start the third he was replaced by Tom Burgess. On his first play of the game, Burgess is picked off, which leads to a Toronto breaking the shutout with a touchdown. A few plays later, Burgess is picked off again, and the Argos get into the end zone again. That's all it took for Ken Austin to be brought back into this game. But that wouldn't be the only change in the quarter. Gilbert Renfro seemed to tweak an ankle, giving John Kajemi a chance to redeem himself after a disastrous start. Let's see if Kajemi can stick around for the final frame and if he can continue the Argonaut comeback. We'll join the fourth quarter in progress with the score 20-17 in favor of the RoughRiders. It's all coming up next here on ESPN Classic Canada.
The IS series from Lexus has arrived. Your moment awaits.
Spare toothbrush, just in case, $4. Home cooked meal, $28. First date finest, $33. Having time on your side, priceless. MasterCard PayPass. Look for it on your card and where you shop.
Fresh. Fresher. Freshest. Fresher-shist. The new fresh scents from Old Spice.
You want to protect your teeth as much as possible. If you're using the leading sensitivity toothpaste, you're not getting protection against tartar, plaque, and gingivitis. With Crest Pro Health toothpastes, you get all these benefits in one toothpaste.
Only Crest Pro Health toothpastes protect against sensitivity in all these areas dentists check most. And with Crest Pro Health Sensitive Shield, you get a smoother formula. New Crest Pro Health Sensitive Shield.
Good job, good job.
John Gregory looks on, hoping his team can pull this game out, because if they don't, I think he's going to come under some very heavy criticism for the move he made at the start of the second half, putting Tom Burgess into the game at quarterback, and Burgess intercepted twice in the first two times they had the ball, leading to Toronto touchdowns.
Watch Austin hurts his hand right there after the follow through. He brings it down to his waist, and that just happened to be the same spot Willie Pless was aiming for.
Second down and 20. RoughRiders there, 35. Austin completes it up near the 50-yard line to Ray McDonald, a favorite target tonight.
Well, sprinting to the left side. Everyone's looking, and you'll watch him snap around, swing those shoulders, so he's in good position to throw the football. It's a long way to throw and out, but helped out by McDonald coming back and making the reception.
Well, I said it was 2nd and 20 for reasons I can't explain. It was only 2nd and 10, and it's now a first down for the Riders at their 47. Austin throws complete to Ray McDonald, who takes a rough ride out of bounds. It gives the Riders another good gain.
He was treated rather rudely in front of the Argonaut bench. Just straight down, he's looking at the defensive back. He's got some cushion there between he and Braisley. Took advantage of it. Next time you might see that same thing happen when Braisley jumps up and bites. McDonald just slide around behind him and go down the sidelines.
Good night for Ray McDonald. And he has scored a touchdown. Riders on 1st and 10 from the Toronto 52. Austin throws for James Hood, and he has it at the 41. That's his first catch of the night.
Well, Gregory was looking for a number of things from Hood in his offense, and one of them happened to be, at least that's what he mentioned, was his explosiveness. And really, we don't see that here, but we do see a nice crisp pattern on the outside against Reggie Pleasant.
Not a bad throw by Austin either. First down and 10. Riders 41. There's a quick throw over the middle. Tim McCray is able to hang onto the ball as Laurent Delorier came up and stuck him from his safety spot.
Well, he does exactly that. Plays off a little bit, and if anything comes in his area, if you don't knock down the ball, knock down the man.
Saskatchewan leading 20-17. 12 minutes and 40 seconds left in the fourth quarter. The Riders at the Argo 35. It's 2nd and 4. Austin, and it's dropped. Tim McRae dropped the ball in first down territory. And that is going to signal the entrance of Dave Ridgway and the RoughRider field goal team into the game. And there's an injured Argo as Ridgway was getting set to line up and kick the ball. Don Moen went down on the field on one knee, and he's being looked at.
Interesting chatting with Ridgway on the sidelines after practice yesterday and just telling him what a beautiful day it was, and it really was beautiful here in Regina. And he said, yeah, but it won't be like this tomorrow, and asking him why. He says, well, it's quite simple. It's game day tomorrow. It's never nice in game day. It's either windy and cloudy and gets cooler.
Lance Chomick walked out before the game, too. We were down there at field level, and he looked around as the wind whistled down Taylor Field and said, oh, you're basic hurricane again here. And the RoughRiders have decided not to try for the field goal and will gamble on 3rd down and 3.5. Now they're going to punt. It's Terry Baker, and he gets the kick away. Brazeley will field it in the end zone, and that'll give Saskatchewan a single point with 12:16 left in the fourth quarter at Taylor Field in Regina. It's now a 4-point game.
Get Nissan versatility now. Get reliability now. Get savings now. This is Nissan Now, a sales event with our best deals ever on our strongest lineup ever. Lisa Rogue now with a $1,500 MSRP price reduction for 0.9%, or get 0% financing on every sedan, crossover, truck, and SUV. The Nissan Now sales event. Get to Nissan now.
I'm challenging my husband.
That'll be me.
To use new Crest Extra White plus Scope Outlast, like me.
Like her. Ooh, it's mint.
It whitens your teeth and gives you a fresh breath feeling that actually lasts. And he likes to drink a lot of coffee.
New Crest Extra White plus Scope Outlast for a wider smile and a fresh breath feeling that lasts up to 5 times longer than a regular toothpaste.
Okay.
Okay.
She's right.
Oh,
My breath still feels fresh.
And how could I resist that smile?
New Crest Extra White plus Scope Outlast.
As long as we both shall live.
As long as we both shall live.
May I now have the rings?
People notice yellow stains. So try new Speed Stick Stain Guard, the breakthrough antiperspirant with stain defense technology that helps protect you and your shirts. Fight yellow stains with new Speed Stick Stain Guard, smarter than sweat.
East side or west side first.
12:16 left in the fourth quarter at Taylor Field in Regina. The RoughRiders now up 21-17 on the Argos after a 42-yard Terry Baker single. Neil, on a play that the RoughRiders can run a variety of plays off of, with Austin lining up behind the center, and that time they elected to snap it back to the punter, who was about 10 yards behind the quarterback. Renfro throws long for Darrell Smith, and it's intercepted. Joe Fuller comes up with his third interception of the night.
Well, we've had many coaches tell us that quarterbacks have to get accustomed to throwing the long ball well before the receiver comes open, because if you don't, there's just too much time for the defensive back to respond, and I think that's what happens here. See, just converging on the football, both Suter and Fuller get plenty of opportunity to catch up to the receiver and to the ball.
Fuller has 3 of Saskatchewan's 5 interceptions tonight. Austin finds James Hood with a first down pass, and he nearly got away. Fights up close to a Rough Rider first down. What a night for Joe Fuller. 3 interceptions. He had 3 on the season coming into the game, so he's doubled his total. And the Argos have gone back ahead in the turnover category by 1.
What's up, Dono? What's up, Dono?
Fuller from the University of Iowa. He's another young player. We talk about Jurison being 24. Fuller is 23.
Well, that's where your future is in any football team. If you can get the young guys in there to do a good job for you, and as they mature, your team matures, and that's how good teams stay good. Keep bringing in that fresh talent and meld it in with the older guys, the veterans, because they ultimately will learn something along the way.
Kent Austin, 18 out of 31 for 198 yards tonight. Right now his team is second down and inches. Austin keeps the ball and has the first down for the Rough Riders, who lead the Argos 21-17. 11 minutes, 15 seconds left in the fourth quarter.
Jersey number, section 203, row 20, seat 3. Section 24, row 35, seat 1. Down at the top.
Riders have 15 first downs, 6 of them in the second half. Right now they're at their 34 with a 1st and 10. And here's a draw to Milson Jones. Kolka grabs him. And Jones was not able to get back to the line of scrimmage. Well, he got close to it. We haven't seen Milson Jones handle the ball much tonight, Neil, and he had been one of their primary offensive weapons.
Well, because of the rotating of the backs, he's not in all game, but you see the strength of Kulka. Milson Jones is 230 pounds. He starts to break into a run, and Kulka just with that left arm literally pulls him down.
Milson Jones has carried 4 times for 8 yards tonight. Second down, Rough Riders from their 34, nearly 10 yards to go. Austin throws for Hood, complete at the 42-yard line. That's a gain of close to 8, but it will leave the Riders a full 2 yards short of a first down and cause them to punt.
I think we might have seen in the last couple of plays why Hood hasn't seen the ball a lot. Very close coverage. Can't get any closer than that by Reggie Pleasant.
Now, you could call that close. Close is a word that fits what happened there.
Next thing is getting right in the uniform with him.
Third down and a couple. Rough Riders from their 42. Baker to punt. And he gets a good high one away. Pernell Moore back to the Argo 29. Moore finds some room down the right sideline and is knocked out of bounds at the Toronto 41.5.
When your day begins with back pain, you need long-lasting relief. Unlike creams and rubs, Thermacare uses deep penetrating heat to relax tight muscles for 8 hours while you wear it. And the relief lasts long after you take it off. Thermacare, real relief that lasts.
You have the right to be the envy of an entire nation. You have the right to more than 1,190 kilometers per tank. You have the right to Autobahn-ready performance. You have the right to European-tuned wow. You have the right to affordable German engineering. Every Volkswagen model is now available at just 0% APR up to 36 months during our Autobahn for All sales event.
Centrum, the A of activity, the I of immune system. Centrum Fort and Select have more vitamins and minerals and help maintain your good health. The Z of zest for life, complete from A to zinc.
When your day begins with back pain, you need long-lasting relief. Unlike creams and rubs, Thermacare uses deep penetrating heat to relax tight muscles for 8 hours while you wear it. And the relief lasts long after you take it off. Thermacare, real relief that lasts.
Fresh, fresher, freshest, fresher-shist. The new fresh scents from Old Spice.
Time to get the latte budget under control.
Trying to be smart about the family budget?
Here goes the good old steam.
Bounty can help because it cleans the mess with less. It's thick and absorbent and really durable. In lab tests, Bounty absorbs twice as much as the value brand. Why use more when you can use less? Bring it with Bounty, the quicker picker-upper. And try Bounty napkins.
You're watching ESPN Classic.
7.5 minutes left in the fourth quarter at Taylor Field in Regina. The RoughRiders leading the Argos by 4. They led them by 17 at halftime. 17-0. Kent Austin from his 9 goes long for James Hood, and he can't get to it and gives Reggie Pleasant a shove for good measure after the play. There's the story of the game. Joe Fuller with 3 interceptions, 2 of them in the first quarter. 1 he returned for a touchdown. The Argos, though, have bounced back in the second half, and Doug Landry has led a pretty good defensive showing again by the Toronto Argonauts. Although Saskatchewan has scored 21 points, Toronto's defense really hasn't been totally responsible for a lot of them. On second down, Austin again looking for Hood. Overthrew him up at the 30, and the RoughRiders will have to punt.
Gregory obviously wanting his offense to move the ball, get away from their goal line, and more so use the clock up. 7 minutes 2 seconds left. It'll be interesting to see how that single point plays in the outcome that they got on that punt.
Terry Baker, who kicked that single, Neil, will line up about 5 yards in his end zone to punt. 7 minutes left, the clock running. If this was the opening quarter, Baker would have been kicking into a very strong wind. The wind has really died down, and Baker gets a high spiral away. Pernell Moore at the 50. Back to the Rider 34-yard line. A 40-yard punt and a 16-yard return by Pernell Moore.
An offensive weapon. He proves it many times. Getting the Argonauts in outstanding field position. Renfro receiving last-minute instructions from Bob Obilovich.
Gilbert Renfro took over from John Kangemi after the first quarter. Went out in the third for a few plays when he twisted his ankle, but he's back in there. And he'll throw long, I believe intended for Darrell Smith, but he got caught up in traffic at the 10-yard line and did not get anywhere near the football. Thought he was illegally jostled on that play. Did Darrell Smith.
Get a good, well, pretty close. The ball was just going overhead. What I did see in the last play was something Bob Obilovich said he wanted to do, and that was isolate Finnerty on a running back, and he had that with Albright moving out on a one-to-one coverage with Finnerty.
2nd and 10. The Argos are at the Saskatchewan 34. Renfro is in trouble.
Mr. Hustle, and with some help on your left side of the screen, watch number 70, Vince Goldsmith. There's a double tag team right there.
And you saw Gil Finnerty, Neil, step away from Clausen and move out into a pass pattern, and that enabled Rick Clausen to get through on Renfro. Of course, Goldsmith is coming from the other way. Chomik will try a 51-yard field goal, has the distance and gets it between the uprights, and the Argos pull within 1 at 21-20. Saskatchewan in front with 5 minutes and 45 seconds left in the fourth quarter.
Lance Chomik, who attended Harry-Aina High School in Edmonton, once kicked a 52-yard field goal in his high school days, and he may be called upon before this game's over to hit one at least that far, maybe farther.
Large field goal by Chomik. And now the RoughRiders from their 35, 1st and 10. Austin lots of time and finally winds up throwing the ball away. Elgard, the receiver in the area, but quite clearly Kent Austin was just getting rid of that one.
Almost seemed like some of the receivers to the front side stopped working for him. The patterns weren't open initially, because of tight coverage. See, once again, Pleasant on right on Hood, and there's that little quick spin and go, but if there's no one to throw to, the receivers have to work a little bit harder. Find an open spot to help out your quarterback.
2nd and 10. Austin throws out in the flat to the 40-yard line. It's complete to Elgard, but he only has 4, maybe 5 yards, depending where they mark the football. And Saskatchewan are going to have to punt again with 5:02 left in the 4th quarter.
You're going to have a tough time throwing the ball out in the flats on the Argonauts and breaking a long one because of the mobility of Pless, Landry, and Moen. They get out there so quickly, they give it to you, and then they take it away.
Well, since the 3:32 mark of the 2nd quarter, the Argo defense has only surrendered 4 points. Baker punting, and he does not get a good kick away. It goes off the side of his foot and out of bounds. And the Argos are going to have excellent field position when the officials mark where this one went out. Baker telling you the whole story with that action.
Well, with the wind having dropped a little bit, you see a good opportunity to put that ball, place it on the foot, and it looked pretty good. But again, sometimes when a kicker just steps to his right a little bit, trying to angle the ball, it can throw you off.
That was a 19-yard kick by Baker. 4.5 minutes to go. 4th quarter. Argos at their 53-yard line. 21-20. Saskatchewan in front. And Joe Fennerty gets to center field and maybe just across for a gain of 2 or 3 yards.
Impressed today, by the way, Mike Magruder on the corner and Joe Fuller as Lance Chaumek keeps warm. See that? Almost what looks like a plastic shirt. That blue, keep him warm. A lot of standing around.
Gil Fennerty has carried 11 times for 38 yards. Usually you see place kickers warming up by kicking the ball. Chaumek warming up by throwing it.
Does that mean there's going to be a fake?
We'll watch for that if he gets on the field again. 2nd down and 8. And the RoughRiders, Gary Lewis, number 79, is claiming that there was early movement by the Toronto offensive line. That's why he was in there. We'll see if the officials agree. Ross Perrier, the referee. And it's procedure against the Argonauts. And you hear a bit of a rise from the fans, but otherwise it has become deathly quiet at Taylor Field.
Toronto.
Perrier making a point somewhat emphatically with the Argos, who were talking about the call.
Well, he wants his space. He's made the call. There's no discussion about it.
No.
Onward and upward.
Nothing's going to change when the call is made and the yards have been marched off. So the Argos are 2nd and 13 instead of 2nd and 8. Renfro. Goldsmith right there to sack him at the 40.
Vince Goldsmith last week entered into a very exclusive club, the 100 Sack Club, that only have 2 members, now 3. Nice move to the outside and then back underneath the block of Prunster to get in the way and get himself a sack.
Goldsmith seeing regular duty too with Curry injured, the 4-man, and he's one of the guys who swings in and out, of course. The 4 down linemen remaining are playing full time, and Goldsmith has been prominent in the 2nd half. Elisik's punt to Richie Hall at the 20, and he gets only 1 yard on the return of a 50-yard Hank Elisik kick. 3:04 left in the 4th quarter at Taylor Field. The Riders hang on to the lead by 1 point.
Go ahead. Take it off. You've got nothing to hide. You can't get a body like this on an expensive diet plan, but now you can get the body you've always dreamed of with a Bowflex home gym.
One workout.
20 minutes a day.
Just 3 days a week.
You build muscle, you burn fat. No diet plan can do that.
Find out how easy getting in great shape can be with this free DVD from Bowflex Home Gyms. Just call or go online. There's no obligation and nothing to buy.
You have to get this DVD. It can change your life.
Don't waste your money on expensive diet plans.
Diet meals? They cost hundreds of dollars a month.
Now you can bring home a genuine Bowflex Home Gym for less than 50 cents a day and get guaranteed results in just 6 weeks.
Diet meals are gone. My Bowflex Home Gym is here to stay.
Unlike a diet, a Bowflex home gym builds muscle, and muscles incinerate calories, so you lose weight and keep it off.
Build muscle, burn fat. Nothing compares to a Bowflex.
People ask me if I'm on a diet. I tell them no. I'm on a Bowflex.
Thanks to Power Rod technology, Bowflex home gyms provide progressive resistance, the secret to burning more calories and building muscle faster than free weights or other resistance systems. Call now for a free DVD that shares the secret of getting an awesome body fast. With a Bowflex home gym, your muscles work harder as you move through a full range of motion. So your workout is more efficient with fewer reps. That's proven Power Rod technology. And with over 65 exercises, the easy hook and release design allows you to go from 5 pounds to over 400 pounds safely and quickly. Get yours for no money down and payments as low as just $10 a month.
I like shopping again. Everything looks great on me.
I'm not afraid to take my shirt off anymore.
With a Bowflex body, you've got nothing to hide.
Get the DVD.
It could change your life.
To get your free DVD, give us a call or go online to getabowflex.ca today. Call now.
Bobby Jurison and the Saskatchewan defense have just come up with an important stand to get the ball back for their offensive unit with 3 minutes and 1 second left at Taylor Field in Regina, left in the fourth quarter. The Riders from their 20 with a 1st and 10. Kent Austin will throw a diving catch by Fairholm up at the 31-yard line. Close to a 1st down.
Well, Fairholm caught a ball earlier on in the game. He comes back into play right here. Look at the great job to the outside, down on the ground. Lots of room for Austin to either go around the corner and run or to see the receiver downfield. Credit's got to go to Milson Jones and McRae for securing that corner so Austin could get the ball to Fairholm.
Excellent catch by Fairholm, gives the Riders a 1st down. Austin throws, and diving back to try and bring this one in was James Hood, but he couldn't quite get there.
Tough catch. He's coming in. He's going to swing inside. Again, you have to think his timing, Hood's that is a little bit off in the coordination with the quarterback. He's only been here a week, and though he's quite familiar with the offensive system because it's similar to the one he had in Winnipeg and Ottawa, it still has to take some time.
2 minutes, 32 seconds left in the fourth quarter. 21-20 for Saskatchewan. Austin. And he'll run with it and go down at the 35-yard line. Wisely go down because he was approaching a battle he was not going to win with 2 Toronto linebackers.
Yeah, I think it's probably best that he went down there.
Well, you could say he should have fought for the 1st down, but he would have fought a losing proposition and possibly been injured.
Yeah, we might have seen Tom Burgess in the next series.
3rd and 6.5, we'll call it. The RoughRiders are there. 35. Baker punts. Brazeley catches at the 45. Finds big room on the left side. Brazeley finally stopped at the Saskatchewan 20 with 1:53 left.
John Gregory emphasized to us today that one of the best things about Bob Obilovich, his football team, and the way he coaches that the Argonauts special teams are outstanding. Not only coverage, but the way that they can return. And watch Brazeley reach to that wall. There it is. You can see it. The first man kicked out. Now that wall's there.
That was a 45-yard punt return by Brazeley to the Saskatchewan 20. Riders ahead by 1 with 1:53 left. But the Argos threatening to take the lead for the first time in the game. Hudson carrying on 1st down. And he'll get maybe 2 yards up the middle. Tonight's winners of the Bobby Jurison lookalike contest are, they're wearing green and white bandanas as opposed to Jurison's red and white.
Oh, it's great to see the excitement that he's been able to generate on the field, overflow into the fans.
2nd down and about 7.5. The Argos. Here's Finnerty trying the middle, and he gets across the 15 to the 13, leaving Toronto 3 yards short of a 1st down, but right in front of the Saskatchewan goalposts. And Lance Chomick will attempt to put Toronto ahead for the first time in the game.
I don't think there was any question in Fennerty's mind or in Hudson's mind the last time when he ran the ball on the first down is to stay in a spot in front of the goalpost. I don't think they had any intention of getting it into the end zone. They were setting up Lance Chomick for this field goal.
And the way the Toronto defense has played of late, Neil, in this game, that's a wise thing to do. Chomick from the 20-yard line puts it up and through, and the Argos have gone in front by 23-21 with 1:18 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Brazeley's punt return set that score up. Just to illustrate again what the special teams mean to the Argos. Their punting average, Illicic's punting average is 44. Their opposition's average this season is 37, so there's a 7-yard difference. The Argos have returned punts for an average of 12.5 yards. Their opponents 4.5, another 8-yard difference. That's a tremendous factor for a football team. Austin loops one down the middle, and it's picked off. Willie Pless has the football for the Argos to the Rider 44-yard line with 1:08 remaining on the clock.
Well, John Gregory's hopes of coming back are all but gone. Talk about being able to go to the football, see where Pless is when that ball snapped right over the center's head. He's on to the right of the screen. Now watch him go to the ball. It's up. And if you don't have that kind of hustle, you don't come up with big plays like that. And he's keeping that one.
Well, you wondered if Ken Austin could pull the same heroics he did against Calgary on Saturday night. It doesn't look like he will be able to. Gil Fennerty carrying on first down for the Rider 40, a gain of between 4 and 5.
At a time when the running backs for the Argonauts have to be extra secure, even though the worst thing you want somebody to tell you is make sure you don't fumble. And the Saskatchewan defense, after having the runner secured, will be going to strip that football.
The clock is running. It's down to 55. Remaining in the fourth quarter, the Argos leading 23-21. And Fennerty on the second down carry is cut down for no gain. The Rough Riders will call a timeout now and stop the clock with 43 seconds left. Which means they're going to get it back with maybe 36, 37 seconds remaining.
Randy Ambrosi, the right guard of the Toronto Argonauts, having to receive some attention from Freddie Dunbar. And Chomick will get another chance to put some points on the boards for the Argonauts.
Well, Lance Chomick has kicked 3 field goals in the fourth quarter, Neil. A 33-yarder, a 51-yarder, and a 20-yarder. So he has made them when they were needed most. And the Argos are 43 seconds away from a club record tying 6th straight victory. They would move to 6-1 if they can hang on now and win.
I think the great thing about this for Bob Obilovich, if he does in fact hang on to beat the Riders, is the way he's come back. His football team didn't lose sight of what they had to do, made some good adjustments on defense primarily, and then just began to execute and pick away. Argonaut defense has been tough all year. We said earlier on that they bend a lot more than they break, and I think they proved that again.
Hank Ilicic is on the field. The Argonauts have decided to punt rather than try the field goal from the Rider 47. The ball is at the Saskatchewan 40.
And once caught, Fuller will go down as quickly as he can to give up the signal and stop the clock.
Well, Ilicic was trying to angle it out of bounds deep in the Saskatchewan end, and he did so at the 7-yard line. So Hank Ilicic does his job, and with 38 seconds left, the Saskatchewan Roughriders, trailing by 2 points, will have to get down around the Toronto 45 or 50-yard line to give themselves any chance of winning this game. And then Dave Ridgway would have to come up with his best kick of the year as the Riders work into the win Not as strong a wind as when the game started, but a wind nonetheless. From the 7. Austin to McCray, no good at the 7 or 8 yard line. You know, to me, that's a pass you may as well not even throw in a situation like that. You have to get the ball downfield. You may as well air it out and hope that somebody catches it.
Well, I don't know, in fact, that you have to air it out, but I think you have to work the ball downfield, throwing it maybe 15, 20 yards over the middle, because all the defensive backs, safeties, corners, and halfbacks are going to be 20 yards off the line of scrimmage when the ball snapped for that reason, not to give up the long ball. So if you've got a little bit, 32 seconds is enough time to move down and pick your way down, at least a field goal range.
2nd and 10, Riders. Austin looking, throws to the sidelines. James Hood has it, knocked out of bounds at the 28-yard line with 27 seconds on the clock.
Well, that's more like it as what I would expect the offense to do. Sort of a semi-roll to the right, pick out your receiver on the sidelines, makes a good catch, stays in bounds, and takes a pretty good shot.
From the 28, Austin has some time, throws to McCray at the 32, gain of 4. 21 seconds left. And the RoughRiders need to go without a huddle here to save precious time as they struggle desperately to get into field goal range. Austin has pressure, steps away, now throws, and it's complete to Hood at the 53 of the Argos, and he gets to the 50 with 9 seconds on the clock. Saskatchewan may have time for one more play. Well, they'll need one more to get it a little further down. And Ridgway may get a shot. 27 yards the gain. 23-21 Toronto the score. Austin throws, knocked away with 3 seconds left on the clock.
Well, Austin kept them alive 2 plays ago, evading a sack and getting the ball downfield to Hood with 3 seconds. I know they'd like to be a bit closer.
Well, I think it's too much for the RoughRiders to expect Ridgway to make this field goal, or even maybe to hope that he'll make it. It's a long shot at the best of times, and with the wind that he's facing, although again it's not as strong as it was at game time, the wind is blowing. A 58-yard attempt by Ridgway. Toronto, I think, was offside. Ridgway hit the ball down to the 6 or 7 yard line. There is a penalty flag. The time has expired on the clock. We'll see what the penalty is.
Well, that's a design play. The offensive line in many situations will come up and put their arms on their knees and prepare to take the catch a defensive player. This time they go into a 3-point stance very quickly. The defense jumps because that's the first movement.
And the Argos were offside. And of course, if there's one thing Toronto can't be on that play, it's offside.
That's right.
Gerald Bayless.
Well, I don't think you can point just to one player because the whole group of them came off. But that gets them that much closer and maybe a little bit more realistic.
Well, Ridgway will have to hit it better and hope the wind dies completely. This is now a 53-yard attempt by Ridgway. Good snap. The ball is down. Ridgway hits it, but this is not long enough. It's at the 5-yard line. Carl Braisley will run out the remaining seconds. There are no penalty flags, and the Toronto Argonauts have rallied.
Gilbert Renfro came back into the game in the fourth quarter, but he didn't look too sharp, throwing for an interception and then getting caught a couple times for sacks. But that didn't matter to Lance Chomick, who gave the Argos all the points they would need in order to pull off a 23-21 victory. At the end of the 1988 season, Toronto ended up with the best offense in the league, scoring 571 points. The RoughRiders were right behind them with 525 points. Unfortunately, though, these numbers didn't translate into the postseason. Saskatchewan was bounced 42-18 in the Western semifinals, and the Argos were eliminated in the Eastern final. Thanks for joining us for this CFL Classic game. For ESPN Classic Canada, I'm Chris Schultz.
May begins with World Hockey Championship weekend on the 1st and 2nd. We celebrate the 15-year anniversary of Reggie Miller.